All right, so we're going to do question 4 next on percent worksheet number 2, which is the gratuity worksheet. All right, so Natalia and her two best friends went out to dinner, and their total bill was $90. They wanted to leave a 20% gratuity, and they split the bill evenly. How much did each person pay? All right, so if we were to draw a picture for that, we would start with a total, original total. And our original total was $90 or is $90. And once again, that is our 100%. We want to leave a 20% gratuity. So that means we're going to be adding 20% on top of the bill. In total, we have 120%. All right, so let's calculate 20% of $90. We're going to start with a proportion, and we're going to start with the part that we know. Well, we know that $90 represents 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and start with $90 over 100. This is going to equal our 20% tip. Well, we have no idea what the 20% tip is yet, so we're going to put X dollars over 20%. Cross multiply. You get 90 times 20, that's 1800 equals 100x. Okay, divide both sides by 100. X equals $18. All right, so 18 is our 20%. This is our tip. And to find our new total, which is the price after the tip has been added, all we have to do is take the original, add it with the tip, and then we have our total. Well, the original was $90. The tip is $18. And our final total is going to be $108. All right, so the question says, if they split the bill evenly, how much will each person pay? So that means we have to take 108 and divide it by the number of people at the table. Well, it says Natalia and her two best friends, so that means 3 people. 108 divided by 3, that's going to be $36 each. All right. And of course, I could have calculated my 20% using the arithmetic method, which is converting to a decimal. 20% is 0.2. 0.2 times $90 is 18. And that is exactly what we got when using our proportion. Okay? Next example. This is a more difficult example. Number 5. So it says Jack and Melissa were on a date. The restaurant bill came out to $52. Jack left $62.40 to cover the check and gratuity. What percent of gratuity did he leave for the waiter? All right, so let's start with a picture. Original bill, which is 100%. And that's also $52. So added on top of this will be a tip. We don't know how much percent that is. But if Jack left a Well, if he left $62.40, we could find out how much tip he left by subtracting. So 62.40 minus $52, we get 10.40. So that's how much tip that Jack left. So once again, this tip right here, we don't know what percent that is, but we do know that this is the $10.40. All right, so there's our picture. Let's see what kind of proportion that we can make. Well, remember, our proportion is what we know equals what we want. I'm going to keep this dollars over percents. So we know that $52 is the original bill. So let's write $52 over 100%. Okay, now let's see what we're trying to find. The question says, what percent of gratuity did he leave for the waiter? Well, we know that he left a $10.40 tip. And the way we would calculate that is taking a certain percentage of $52. So in other words, we want to find what percent of $52 is $10.40. All right, so when we relate that back to our proportion, we have 52 over 100. We want to know what percent is $10.40. So this is going to be $10.40 over X percent. We're trying to find the percent. All right, cross multiply. We get 100 times 1040. That's 1,040 equals 52x. Divide 52 on both sides. And we get x equals 20. So that means this 1040 is 20%. All right. Thank you for watching.